Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I am going to show you how to replace a above ground pool hose. And I'm going to show you how to do it if you have a pool full of water like I do. If you have an above ground pool, this is not an uncommon thing. So this is the hose I'm going to be replacing. It's running from the skimmer basket to the pool pump right there. There's also another one over here that runs from the filter to the outlet there where the water goes back into the pool. And generally what you'll start to see is little pinholes spring up in your hose. And maybe you'll notice it because the ground is wet, or maybe you'll notice that the pool water level is dropping. This one's particularly bad. There's about 3 of them here. So I'm going to show you how to do this when you have a pool full of water. The first thing I have is this. This is like a little pool plug. And what this does is this goes in the skimmer basket. You can see that it's threaded, and you're just going to screw it down in there. I'll show you that in a minute. You can get these at any pool store or get them on Amazon. They're actually for winterizing your pool. And I use it for winterizing, but it's also useful for a situation like this. If you don't have one of these, let me show you a hack that also works. A golf ball. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to take that golf ball and you're going to drop it down there to fit in that hole. And what that's going to do is it's going to stop water from running out when you disconnect this hose. Okay, now it's obviously not as tight of a seal as that plug that I have, but it does a pretty good job, and especially when that water starts draining, it sucks that golf ball right up against that. So, and it's easy to just, when you're done, reach in, pull the golf ball out. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I basically just use that plug. So this plug just basically threads down into that hole, and that is going to have basically a watertight seal that is going to prevent water from coming out of there. Now obviously there is water in this hose, there is water in that pump, so there is going to be a little bit of water, but that's going to keep it from the rest of your pool water draining out and down while you're trying to replace that. Now, to prevent the water from coming out over here, this is a sand filter. Most of them have an option where you can just turn it to closed. Okay, now what that's going to do is that is going to prevent water from coming down this hose into the filter, from the filter down into the pump. Okay, so put that on close, and now basically the only water that you're dealing with is what's in that hose and what's in this the filter and the pump. You're gonna go ahead and get your hose here. I bought this at you can get this hose anywhere. Any pool store nearby will have it, and Lowe's, sometimes various Lowe's have them. We have, where I live, a store called Agway, which is like a smaller home improvement store, and it's only like 2 miles away, so I always just run to Agway, and mine sells them in, I think that's like a 3-foot section. I actually got 2, and I can just cut it here, so I'll have an extra one, so I don't have to run out and get one the next time this happens. And then the other thing that I do while I'm there is I just buy a couple more of these pipe clamps. This one you can see is all rusted. I actually got 2 of them on there. So just buy some pipe clamps. Altogether, I think this cost me about 16 bucks. Okay, and then the last thing you're gonna need is just a regular flathead screwdriver. So let's get started here. I'll set the camera up and show you how you go about doing this. One last thing, you are going to get a little wet. It's unavoidable. There's water in the hoses. So, you know, throw on your Crocs, throw on your flip-flops, throw on your, I got my deck boots on, because you are going to get a little wet. So I got my hose cut. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this old one. usually slides off pretty easy. You gotta give it a little tug. Now obviously you see the water that was in the hose pouring out, but you see there is no water coming out of there. So that plug has sealed it quite nicely. And then I'm gonna disconnect it from the pump. All right, so another thing that's not uncommon is I'm having a very difficult time getting that off of the pump. When I winterize my pool every winter, I disconnect that one. So that just went on a couple months ago. This one has been on since I replaced the hose 3-4 years ago. So I'm not gonna mess around. I'm just gonna take my utility knife and slice that off of there to get it off of there. Okay, got that off. Just cut it and got that off. Now I did put silicone tape on there. You don't really need to do that. That's probably why it was so hard to get off. And you can see I do have a little water coming out of there, so it's kind of a messy, wet job. A couple of these clasps are decent. This one's not too bad. So what I've found is for my pool, sometimes I get a little bit of a leak there. And so sometimes I put 2 of these clasps up top there just to tighten it, and that usually helps. So let's get that new one on there and we should be done. Okay, so I put the clasp on there. I think I'm gonna actually use 2 since I've got them. Throw this on there. All right, just gonna tighten those 2 down. All right. Got that bottom one on there. I'm just going to attach the top one and we should be good. Got it all buttoned up there. All right, so the next thing you want to remember is to take out this plug or remove the golf ball. Just unscrew that. And I want to put this back to filter. I've lost quite a bit of water. I think this was leaking for a couple of days. So I don't know if I can run the pool pump without adding some water, but I'm going to try it, just check for leaks. Generally your leaks will just be from these not being tight enough. If you got some drips running down there, then you can just go ahead and give them a couple more cranks. I just plugged mine in and turned it on. See, I don't have enough water in the pool, so it's sucking air, but I'm not going to let it run for long. It seems like I'm good there. Seems like I'm good there. It's not, I'm looking at my watch, it's not a long fix. Took about 15 minutes from start to finish. Pretty simple, and like I said, if you have an above ground pool for any length of time, it's something you will have to do. So I'd like to thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, Suburban Adventures is our family's outdoor adventure channel. This is not our usual video. We do about 90% of our videos are fishing and magnet fishing. The other 10% are other outdoor things that we do, bike riding, hiking, things like that. However, since I started this channel, I have done some pool maintenance and repair videos, because I know that if you have an above ground pool, there's always something that goes wrong. And if you have a pool and you're new to it, you may not really know what you're doing. And I get a lot of search hits on my pool maintenance and repair videos. So I do have a playlist that you can check out that I will add to. I'll put that playlist right there on pool maintenance and repair. And I hope this helped. If it did, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Remember, get out and explore no matter where you live, even if it's in your own backyard pool. We'll see you next time.